Greetings and welcome to day 13 of 40 days of well-being concepts for balance. I'm Raisa Nazaire, and we are discussing well-being concepts from my book, Balance is a Juggling Act. And today's concept is know your personal kryptonite. We are all Superman or Superwomen, and like every single superhero, we have things that render us ineffective. They make us weak, and they keep us from performing our mission in life. For Superman, it's kryptonite, and for me or you, our kryptonite is a feeling or emotion that affects us deeply, and it triggers some sort of fear. And if you don't know what your personal kryptonite is, that person, place, or thing that provokes extreme responses from you, you'll be a puppet that is manipulated by your own emotions. You give away your superpower, and that might show up as feelings of rejection, abandonment, perfectionism, low self-esteem, a fear of change, guilt, shame, or a lack of vulnerability in general. And we do know this one thing, that in everyday life, you are going to be triggered by people, places, or things that you encounter. You definitely know buttons will be pushed. And the question is not if this will happen, but what to do about it when it does. But you'll know the trigger when it activates because it causes physical and emotional disharmony. In your body, you may feel a tightness, and then you'll have that emotional response. So in addition to the emotions and feelings mentioned, it could be resentment, jealousy, envy, anger, rage. And you'll see this through self-observation, which is a sincere and introspective examination of your inner world. And to help you identify the kryptonite, you want to reflect on the moments when you feel you've been sucked dry by an energetic vampire, or maybe you just feel out of alignment with your true self. It's these types of incidences that reveal the patterns or triggers that make up your personal kryptonite. And it could come from environments, relationships, habits, or even internal beliefs. They all serve as kryptonite that could sap your energy or cloud your judgment. So once the source is identified, the next step is to build awareness and strategies to manage or transform these vulnerabilities, we'll call them. That's your kryptonite. And it's essentially a form of risk mitigation for kryptonite. And of course, that comes to mind for me because I spent 21 years as a project manager. But here's a couple of things that you can do to help you recognize it. And the first is to acknowledge that there is this vulnerability there without any judgment, and then embrace it. Allow it to be a part of your very human experience and approach it with compassion. Acceptance is the first step towards emotional transformation. And the truth really is that emotional kryptonite lies in your mind. It exists within us, and it's shaped by our perceptions and our beliefs. So we can change it. And then secondly, while we're working on that transformation, we need to develop clear boundaries to protect our energy and to maintain a sense of balance. And this means that we've got to set up boundaries and limits with others and avoid encounters or circumstances where we cannot set up boundaries, or as in the first step, to accept it and just move through it. So I'm going to read today's concept. Know your personal kryptonite. Your personal kryptonite is the person, place, or thing that drains your energy, mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Kryptonite is the thing that falsely triggers neural networks in your brain to send you into fight, flight, or freeze. Are you cognizant of who or what triggers your sense of balance? This may be a person who leaves you feeling sick or weak after spending time with them. It might be a place that makes you feel sad, or it may be an object that enrages you for some buried reason. Learning to avoid or mitigate triggers until they no longer hold power helps you stay emotionally strong. Knowing yourself and what causes you to be unhappy and unfulfilled is key to personal balance and well-being. Today, use time to acknowledge what triggers you and plan how you will avoid being so forcefully impacted during the next encounter. Note that this will likely take repeated practice. So, in closing, because I'm going to leave you to meditate for yourselves today as I will be traveling, I ask that you take the time to explore your mind and remember that you hold the power to discharge any emotional kryptonite. You hold the power to discharge any emotional kryptonite. And by knowing yourself and building inner strength, you can move beyond any mental or emotional barrier and live a more free and authentic life. Wishing you a powerfully good day as you move through looking at the triggers that come up as emotional kryptonite. And I will see you tomorrow for day 14.